Or atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is William Michael Crow back. We're here with Free Fire Radio. And Dane Wigington here would like to continue answering the questions that Brenda had here.
Well, Brenda, again, I want to relate to, your not wanting to, or, it's a natural desire, at least it was for me, not to want to believe this could even be remotely possible.
No. I'm not in denial.
I don't think you are. I just want to...
I'm looking at it from a scientific point of view. I'm very skeptical.
I understand, as was I for about 2 years, but every test I opened, they got worse and worse and worse, and every dot that connected, and I spent my own time, my own money with the press pass to go to the national conference to hear it from their own mouth, the geoengineers, to make sure that this was exactly what it seemed to be, and to have these guys stand in the front of the room and talk so cavalierly about dumping 20 million tons of ultrafine aluminum nanoparticles into the atmosphere, and when pinned down, and you can see this on Michael Murphy's documentary, you can see them answer this question with their own mouth, that had there been any studies done for such a deployment, and the answer when pinned down was no, nothing, because they don't feel they have to. And again, the soil pH changes and the tests that have been done from every aspect of this just continues to verify it's exactly what it appears to be. And again, if anybody wants to research this, and that's all we hope to accomplish here tonight, it's not to convince you from what we say, but to get you to investigate on your own. A site that you can do that on, geoengineeringwatch.org. Geoengineeringwatch.org has news bulletins posted daily from around the globe, increasing data on this every day that passes. That's an excellent site. And again, there'll be a long Q&A with medical practitioners, U.S. Forest Service biologists, and other experts this Friday at the Sequoia School. They'll be there, and the Q&A can last as long as anybody wants to stay and ask questions.
Okay, I know that's probably as slanted a source as anyone who would say the exact opposite. So how about a website who are naysayers and say, oh, there's no concerns, there's no problems, here's the counterbalancing data. That's what I mean by scientific thought.
Well, this comes down to like Agent Orange, which we were told for how many years didn't exist.
Which can't argue that point.
But
there has to be another website somewhere where somebody says, don't worry about it.
The Discovery
Not
Channel.
unlike global warming, where there's the advocates that say yay, 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 and there's those who say nay, nay, nay.
But how much money do you think is behind those that would say nay, nay, nay? You're talking about the most powerful
probably not very much, because they're not politically correct. They're not the ones
Brenda, that
are advertising what the media tells you.
Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, we're talking about some of the most powerful people on the planet Earth. So, I can't imagine, and if you look at the patents, that's who's on it. And if you look up the programs, the aircraft that are being purchased, we had 400 tankers for the U.S. Air Force in the year 2000. Now we have 1,600 tankers. Now they're going for 400 more. Why do we need a 500% increase in tankers, and correlating the spray has increased at an equal rate? There's so many dots that connect on this issue. And
what were they hoping to accomplish with this aerosol spraying or whatever? What's the ultimate goal?
I can tell you this. The patents state clearly, like a primary patent called Wells Stratospheric Aerosol Spraying for Reduction of Global Warming, Wells box seating for reduction of global warming, and the stated goal is to fill the atmosphere with reflective particulates to slow the rate of global warming. And people who don't think the atmosphere can be tipped are wrong. Mount Pinatubo in 1992, a very minuscule eruption, cooled global temperatures 1 degree Fahrenheit. The atmosphere can be...
I wouldn't call Pinatubo minuscule.
In comparison to Krakatoa, it was.
But that's an extreme case.
It is, but bottom line is most people don't understand. Most people don't even know what Pinatubo was, so I say minuscule because most of the world never knew it even happened. So geologically, yes, it was a significant eruption, but not for global populations who never even heard about it. So I can tell you the patents are stated for many things, and if you look this up, you'll find a list of 100 or more patents that describe exactly what we're seeing with the same ingredients.
But if global warming is such a disaster, and you have an opportunity to introduce stratospheric aerosols to cool the planet down, wouldn't that be a good thing and maybe worth paying the little bit of price in some people's minds?
Well, if the price is total toxification of everything that lives and breathes on the planet Earth, total toxification of soils, waters, a complete decimation of the ozone layer, which is a very openly stated consequence, even by the proponents of geoengineering, that the ozone layer will be shredded. And incidentally, the ozone scale in the last 10 years has been changed from 1 to 10 to 1 to 15. Why is that? So, I mean, again, these people would cut our nose off to spite our face if there's money to be made. No, this cure is far, far worse than the disease. And whatever a person's perspective is on climate change, geoengineering is the final nails in the coffin, period. If one looks at the total fallout and the total decimation, it cannot be seen as a cure in any light.
And Brenda, that's assuming that these programs are only to block the sun. However, there's much talk that these could be related to having military applications related to weather modification. Why would a military want to modify the weather? Well, that would have tremendous power for certain military. So we believe that it's in part, that type, those types of agendas. So I don't want to get too in depth to that unless you want to talk about it more. I do want to thank you for calling, and I also want to thank you for being skeptical.
Definitely.
Because in order to get to the truth, we do need to ask these questions. I do, in closing with you, I do want to ask this question to you. Does it concern you that geoengineers desperately want and are proposing spraying 10 to 20 million tons of toxic aluminum into the sky above where you live? Is that a concern for you?
At the moment, I don't know. Because I don't know if it's true. I don't know what the end results are. I don't have enough data to form a conclusion.
Excellent. Then I really want to encourage you to watch my documentary, What in the World Are They Spraying? You can Google it. You can find the full version on the Internet. Please watch it, or come out with us on Friday. At the auditorium here in school.
Sequoia Middle School.
Sequoia Middle School, and we can answer a lot of questions that you have. And again, I just want to thank you again for asking these questions, because you're curious, and you're asking a lot of questions that many other people have.
But
and I think it's important.
I'm sorry, Michael. I want to get off with a final note that one thing can be said with total certainty. There's a mountain of metal, toxic metals falling on us that was not there 5 years ago. It's there today. It's not coming from China. And it matches the patents exactly, and that is a statement of total certainty. That metal is absolutely positively there and is verified from very qualified scientific sources, period.
Like Mount Shasta, there's no way it could have gotten up there but from the sky.
That's right. This is not natural occurring. And I want to say one quick thing here. They're talking about this aluminum and barium and strontium and everything. I want you to look at something here. Genetically modified seed patent. Aluminum resistant gene patent. Number 7582809, granted on September 1st, 2009, and it was based on the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Brazilian Enterprises for Agricultural Research. Why are they coming up with seeds that are resistant to aluminum unless something is happening?
Well, that's interesting. And if I could speak on that, when we filmed, we actually spent a week in Hawaii on an organic farm, and it was just a beautiful place to live. For the first time in my life, I had been removed from corporatism, and
that must have been nice.
Oh, it was beautiful, and we're dependent on this organic farm of the trees for our food. So we literally went out in the morning and in the afternoon and picked our food and ate off the land, and it was just an incredible place to live. Of course, we went to investigate the issue of geoengineering. They're seeing a decline in the yield of what they're getting there, and we walked with one of the residents, and he showed us a weakening of the coconut trees. So they are seeing profound changes, and this is just in the past 8 to 10 years. And one of the concerns is that if the programs continue, that this could be, and you had mentioned the aluminum-resistant seeds, many people believe, including myself, that this might be an agenda by the GMO seed manufacturers to destroy the soil so that nothing will be able to grow except for this aluminum-resistant GMO seed in this new environment, what we have. So it's deeply concerning that this might be an attempt to monopolize the entire food chain in the world.
Then you look at those food bills, the S510 bill that's going to take away the right to grow your own food.
Food modification
so
safety.
then they're doing everything at once.
People, you better look at that. Okay, Brenda, we're going to have to get on now with if there's another caller, but we only got 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something out here. I see this is really happening. I have children, grandchildren. As soon as I seen this DVD, this video that they had put out, that Michael Murphy here has put out himself, I was amazed. The first thing I did was I went out and got some pH testing kits, and I went out and tested my water, my soil, everything else that I could, with the pH test. And you know what I found? They're right. The pH in my soil is getting more neutral when it should be acidic. You know, when you have oak trees, you have pine trees, you have all this stuff. You know, we got mulch on our ground and everything that I tested when I first got there. And it tested, acidic, as it was supposed to.